A quiet number with loud consequences. Counterfeit and pirated goods account for roughly 3% of all global trade. That is not a side alley. That is a parallel highway. When the official system jams, a shadow system takes over. It moves phones, pills, parts, and sometimes hope. Not glamorous, not loud, just fast. Tonight, we calmly lift the lid on the second layer of the global economy. The layer most people never see, but quietly rely on. Chapter 1. Big Picture. The world's second supply chain. Before judging anything, we define it. Shadow supply chains are networks that move goods outside normal visibility. Not always criminal, often gray. Legal in one place, questionable in another. It is a spectrum, not a stereotype. Imagine a line. White, official, documented, regulated. Gray, parallel imports, unofficial distributors. Black, counterfeits, banned items, sanctioned cargo. Most of the system sits in the middle. And the middle exists because official supply chains are slow, fragile, and expensive. Ports clog. Paperwork stacks up. Sanctions redraw maps overnight. Demand doesn't wait. A gray channel steps in and absorbs the friction. Agencies estimate illicit and gray flows in the trillions of dollars each year. The exact number doesn't matter, the scale does. Here is the theme for the next 10 minutes. When the official pipeline can't flex, a shadow pipeline forms right beside it, quietly, efficiently, and with very different rules. Chapter 2. Why the world relies on the gray middle. Start with regulation. Tariffs rise. Export controls tighten. Compliance becomes a maze. Someone always finds a route that is perfectly legal in one jurisdiction, ambiguous in another. Add price arbitrage. A phone costs far less in market A than in market B because of taxes or currency. Now add shortages. A drug runs out. A chip plant shuts down. A war blocks a fertilizer route. Official supply thins. Unofficial networks fill the gap. Then speed. Official shipments wait for certificates. Gray shipments move while the ink is drying. In electronics, fashion, and seasonal goods, speed has its own currency. And there's a simple economic truth. Shave time, accept risk, split the margin. Examples. Region-locked electronics arriving early. Medicines sourced from surplus stock abroad. Used parts moving across borders when prices diverge. Think of the gray channel as a shadow pipeline beside the official highway. Same origin and destination. Different rules of the road. Chapter 3. How shadow supply chains actually move goods. We keep this descriptive, not instructional. Parallel imports. Goods purchased legally in one market are resold in another, bypassing exclusive distributor agreements. Disguised cargo. High-value items ride inside low-value declarations. Transshipment hubs. Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong, Panama, Cyprus, Malta. Most activity is legitimate. Gray networks exploit the same speed and complexity to obscure origin. Shadow shipping practices. A vessel changes flags. Ownership shifts. Cargo transfers ship to ship offshore. Tracking signals go dark, then reappear. These are fingerprints, not proof, but patterns. Freight forwarders and brokers. Some specialize in gray clearance, routing through ports where rules differ, optimizing classification codes, shaving duty. Informal middlemen. In many cities, logistics runs through WhatsApp threads, personal trust, and cash notes, not enterprise software. A sober note. The WHO warns that in low and middle income countries, around 1 in 10 medical products may be substandard or falsified. This is where the gray line turns black quickly. The core idea. Shadow supply chains use the same cranes, trucks, ports, and spreadsheets as official ones, just with different incentives. Chapter 4. Why companies quietly tolerate shadow channels. Not endorsed, not advertised, but tolerated more often than people think. Market testing. Manufacturers observe parallel imports to identify hidden demand before committing to a full launch. Inventory relief. Fashion brands dislike big discounting. If excess stock quietly flows into secondary markets, the brand stays premium while inventory disappears. Region locks meet reality. Tech companies stagger releases and set regional prices. Gray channels erase those borders overnight. Pharma shortages. When hospitals face delays, informal wholesalers offer faster supply, sometimes safe, sometimes risky. Auto parts and accessory flows. Shops sometimes choose unofficial suppliers when official ones are slow or overpriced. The economic logic is simple. The shadow channel absorbs volatility the official channel refuses to carry. Chapter 5. Winners and losers. Winners. Middlemen who know the gaps and move fast. Arbitrage traders who capture price spreads. Transshipment hubs that monetize speed. Consumers during shortages. Manufacturers who receive hidden market signals or inventory relief. Losers. Governments losing tax revenue and regulatory control. Small businesses undercut by parallel imports. Consumers facing low transparency in medicines and safety parts. Sanctioning countries whose policies get diluted. Legitimate brands spending millions on policing quality and reputation. UNODC estimates put the combined illicit and gray flow economy around the $1 to $2 trillion range. The larger this system becomes, the harder official policy becomes to enforce. Chapter 6. What it means for ordinary people. Why is your phone cheaper from a third-party seller? Because someone bought it where taxes were lower and moved it through a faster, thinner channel. Why do certain medicines appear during shortages? Because informal networks source surplus abroad. Why does fashion circulate globally despite regional limits? Because demand ignores borders. Why do car parts or chips arrive faster from unofficial sellers? Because the shadow pipeline still had stock while the official warehouse didn't. Pros and cons. Pros: cheaper, faster, more options. Cons: quality varies. Warranties may not apply. Safety is harder to verify. Origin can be opaque. Practical, neutral advice. For critical goods like medicines, stick to regulated channels. For non-critical goods, verify warranty and return policies. Be cautious of extremely low prices for safety items. Understand the system will not disappear. It will adapt. The global economy has two layers. The visible one with paperwork and pallets. And the quiet one that bends rules, fills gaps, and keeps supply moving when the official map changes overnight. Shadow supply chains aren't a conspiracy. They are an inevitable byproduct of a world that wants speed, consistency, and low prices, delivered through structures that are slow, fragile, and expensive. The honest truth is this: we rely on the second layer more than we admit. The goal isn't panic. The goal is literacy, understanding where the risks live, where the value hides, and how both layers shape your everyday life. Stay curious, stay sharp.